So a lot of people, especially kids, have these special interests where they only want to do one thing all the time and they think about it all the time, and it doesn't matter where they are, they still want to do it, and they get all emotionally caught up in it, and it sort of completely takes over their lives. It's their obsessive interest. It's all they want to think about. They know everything about it. And pretty soon, you're wearing costumes, you're marching in parades. Harry Potter would be an example of something that people are obsessively interested in. Fans will just overwhelm themselves with it. So what's the deal? Why is Harry Potter, which is books after all, lead to this kind of obsessive focus? Let's look at an example. Pokemon. So say you're a big Pokemon fan. Here's a Pokemon card. Look at all the information on this card. The hit points. You've got these 4 fire signs, 100. I don't even know what all this means. -30 resistance, weakness. There's a lot of information. To really understand Pokemon, you really have to sort of organize and figure out all the information. So you need little machines that'll help you with this information to tabulate it. Now you don't need an actual Pokedex. You just get the iPhone app that gives you all the statistics on all your Pokemon. So suppose you're playing World of Warcraft. Now there's a story. You're following the storyline, and there's characters, and you relate to the characters. But every time you turn it on, look at all this stuff. There's all this info all over the place. All this quantified info, which has cool little icons so you can understand it. So a big part of fantasy culture involves information. Here's some guys playing in Dungeons and Dragons, and you can't play Dungeons and Dragons without pens and pieces of paper and dice. There's all these numbers, there's all these lists. Every time you open a fantasy book, fantasy books work partly by a good story, but also partly by loading a lot of information. That's why you open a fantasy book, you got to have a map, you got to have a glossary at the end. And J.K. Rowling knows this, so she actually creates these reference materials like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Harry Potter is full of information. Here's the list of spells from the Harry Potter wiki. There's hundreds of them. This is like reading a dictionary. Appreciating Harry Potter is like somebody who likes to read a dictionary. Here's a passage from Honeydukes. And look at this. It's just a long list of cool different things. Just like you have this long list of Pokemon, you have this long list of spells. It's all these cool different things, and she explains what they are. And so as you're reading the book, partly you're enjoying the story, but partly you're just getting all this information. You're organizing the information, you're slotting it, you're exchanging it with your friends, you're going online and talking about the information, and that's how obsessive interests work. If there's a lot of stuff that you can move around and play with, that makes it fun.